All right. Hey guys, this is analyzing financial performance using generative AI and ratio analysis. So as you can see here, we're going to be using Microsoft 365 Copilot for this lab, and we already have the lab data here uploaded. Now we're going to ask Microsoft 365 to read the data file. And if you open the data file, it's just a bunch of company data, and it's just going to read the data, and we can from there it processes the information, and then we can go ahead and ask it questions. So we are then going to just using the prompts from the instructions, going to ask it to calculate the current ratio, the debt to equity ratio, net profit margin, and ROA. Okay. That is going, Copilot's going to take some time and it's going to come back with an answer for us to just kind of give us an idea of these ratios between these companies. So now here we go. We got a whole table with all these companies and, their information, their ratios. Now we're going to ask it, Copilot, to use these ratios to then report back which company has the strongest liquidity, the lowest leverage, and the highest profitability. And Copilot's able to use those ratios to determine all this information, which is pretty nice and pretty cool. You can determine a lot of information from those ratios produced. So after doing that, we're going to take this information and the ratios provided, along with some background information that Copilot has given us, and we're going to ask it to create histograms for each of the ratios. So one for current ratio, one for debt to equity, one for net profit margin, and one for return on assets, or ROA. Now we're going to set up a standard of bin ranges for each ratio just to keep it nice and concise between each time this lab is performed. And as you can see, we have current ratio. It's going to provide bins from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 plus, depending on what company information we have, and that may be applicable. So, debt to equity ratio, we have 0 to 0.5, 0.5 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and so on. You can see these bin ranges that we're going to have Microsoft 365 create. So we're going to send that in, and Microsoft is going to create some histograms for us. After a little bit of analyzing and using the parameters through this prompt, it will provide back. So as you can see, we have current ratio. So what's nice here is Copilot actually gives us the amount of companies in the bins. So on the chart, you can interact with it. You can see, 3 from 3 to 4, but it also gives us it in text if the image is not, uploading right the first time. And you can see it goes through for each of us, for each of the ratios, it provides it, which is nice. So then we can ask it to output as PNG files so you can upload it. And it will just come back with the name already put in for it. And you could just go through and download each of these. Now, these aren't interactable as the other ones, obviously, because it has to be a PNG. And there's no text that comes with it, but you can clearly see, and it's pretty well defined, how much of each there is by the lines when you're reading the histogram. Now, lastly, we're just going to ask ChatGPT, or sorry, not ChatGPT, but Microsoft 365 to, output all the prompts that I used into a Microsoft Word file, so then you can upload that into the document. And while this is doing this, we already have all the information needed to answer all the questions